Hey everybody. I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to come pop on in. If anybody decides to come in, kind of excited about this wing talk. So I know this is kind of a impromptu wing talk. I kind of felt like this needed to be said, so I am going to, when I have a chance, when I feel like the need arises, to go ahead and do a wing talk. Hi, Canadian. Hi, Julie. It's good to see y'all. I actually need to go find it, my own stream on on StreamYard. I need to go find it and go ahead and share it out. I know there's a lot of people um, doing their own thing, so I am not expecting a whole lot. So, how's y'all's nights going? Hi, Melanie. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody. Um, Hopefully, the swing talk is not going to be too long. And I've thought about doing a chill out panel in a little bit where everybody can come up and talk, share your stories and whatnot. First things first, I've been watching Haunted Trucking's numbers closely. He is getting really close to hitting that big milestone. I'm very proud of him and where his channel has gone. And he's come a long way from last year this time. Yeah, why did my panel light decide to go out? Give me just a second. I'm still here. I'm still going to be talking. It's just I'm going to be switching out my light. Hello, dolphin lovers. Good to see you. I hope you guys enjoy what I have to say. Um, Hi, Redbeard. Um, this wing talk is gonna be kind of stuff that I've learned, and then this week is gonna be kind of about um. This wing talk's gonna be about kind of what happened this last week and um everything that's been kind of going on with me and about things that I've kind of learned and I probably should keep in mind because we all kind of get this topic. Hi, Anna Mendez. It's good to see you. But yeah, I'm very proud of Haunted Trucking, and I can't wait to see him hit that 1K and possibly beyond. Hi, Irish Whiskey. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Um, I'm going to go ahead and move right along with my topic. The topic is judging and judging others or being judged. And I'm just going to explain because of my physical appearance, my eyes, and sometimes it's my personality. People tend to take me the wrong way. They take me as a either somebody who's quote unquote stupid, or something is makes me kind of what they what people would say back then, mentally retarded or mentally slow. And growing up, I've always had to prove myself. Kind of, um, not a lot of people would interact with me because I was different, and there's a lot of people, because I am a bigger person, would not be friends with me because of that. And then there's also a lot of people, because the way I am, um, I learned my personality tends to um, get in the way. I tend to be one that is, I usually keep to the back until I know what's going on. And then I'm going to say my piece to somebody, even if they don't really want to hear it. And I usually try to be as straightforward as I can. I'm very open and opinionated, and a lot of times that gets me in trouble. Good or bad, I'll say my opinion. Hello, Carrie Ann. Hi, Nancy. It's good to see you guys. But because I was so picked on as a kid and so judged by the fact that I might not be smart, because my eyes, I mean, you could see my eyes are kind of not aligned, and it's because of when I was born that way, and it's called strabismus. And I've also got something wrong with my tongue, where there's a cord that I was born this way too. I have a cord that's underneath my tongue. A lot of people, um, when I get very tired or I've talked a whole lot, I tend to slur my words. It's really hard for me to pronounce certain things. And I cannot roll my R's, like when people talk about rolling R's in Spanish and that sort of thing. It kind of doesn't exactly do right. It's more like a la 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 instead of the R roll sound. And as I grew up, people started to learn to accept me by my actions, by the way I do things. Sometimes I would reach out to people. Um, I've always been one that would want to help other people. Hence, a lot of these wing talks, they're about my opinion, about me to be able to express my opinion, but also without disrespecting people and disrespecting what they may be feeling on their side of things. Um, I also want to help people be able to learn from any mistakes that I've made. And I've made quite a bit of mistakes. And it's a lot of it is being able to interact with people because of the way that I was picked on as a kid. I'm very leery about being friends with people. And when I do become friends with people, I trust them completely. And as I grew into adulthood, and still even now, I tend to become very untrusting of other people by their actions. And I feel like it's a lot of it shaded towards me, and I need to stop thinking that way and think, well, maybe they just didn't think about it. Maybe they didn't understand that it could be something within the friendship that could be, make the friendship trust not dissolve. And there are a lot of times as a teenager, I had such a hard time uh, with people picking on me. that I became really depressed and I kept myself in. That's the worst thing anybody can do. And when anybody does that, it's kind of one of those things that it's really hard for anybody to understand unless you've been there. And for me, a lot of my friends have said in the very beginning they didn't like me. Why? They would never really tell it. And it's one of those things that kind of got me thinking. And a lot of people, there was half the people that were my friends, even back, in school, they didn't like me because how I looked, or they didn't like me because I would become outspoken at times, and they didn't like the way I done it, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But being honest here, I've even had times that I've judged others. And not necessarily by their appearance, it's more about their personality, the way they come off to people. And watch it. And that's why a lot of times people wonder why I get quiet. This is because I'm observing people. I'm watching their actions and I'm watching how people interact with each other, because I want to see how this person's going to act and react. If they act and react to them, how they're going to do it for me. And I guess in a way I'm judging according to that. So when I do that, it kind of makes people think that I'm really, really shy. And in a lot of ways, I don't know how to approach somebody and actually just strike up a conversation. And it's kind of like really hard for me because I'm not around people a whole lot, especially now. And for me to have been judged so harshly, I know it sounds hypocritical, but I think everybody does it. We all kind of judge other people in some way, shape, or form, even if you've not met them or had any contact with them. It's almost like their reputation uh, precedes themselves, if that makes sense. And I think we all need to kind of have an open mind. We might have those judgments, but we all kind of need to keep an open mind and actually watch each other with our actions, how we do things, what are we doing. Um, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, you've got a big heart. But with having that big heart, that I've learned that having that big heart and want to help others, I put myself so much into helping others that it will eventually affect me. I'll give you an example. I go to help somebody with a problem they're having, and it's dealing with another person that's possibly my friend or somebody that I contact, something to that effect. Well, as far as helping the one individual and learning from both sides of the story, I do this in real life. I don't just do it on Wing Talk. I try to find both sides of the story, observe both sides of the story, and then try my best to see what I can do to help, even if it's just listening. And sometimes that falls back on me, and it falls back on me pretty hard. Um, I've actually been told by somebody who was I believe, a psychic medium. You're a weeper of souls. You don't just have those feelings for somebody, like if somebody's needing help or something that's really sad. It goes deep down to your soul. So when you cry with everything, even your soul. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind because really that is true for me. And it's hard to put into words how it does. And even my best friend today on the phone said, it's not that I don't want you to do what you can to help because you are one of those people that loves to help. It affects you too much. And his advice was to step back from the situation. I've never been one to really put my judgments out there, and I'm not going to start really now. But because of the mistakes that I've made, people tend to judge me instead of opening up and being a friend and being somebody who is open to accept and try to understand. People tend to shut people out, bully them, and push them away. And I don't think that's fair either. But what can you do? Only thing that I know to do when I know I've been attacked several times on Twitter, I know I've done attacking on Twitter several different times since I've been doing Twitter. And I'm not proud of it. And I don't accept it. I've done apologized, to the people that I needed to apologize to. But the other people that seen it automatically judged me based on me having a hard time, based on me having issues. And to me, that's not right either. To me, I feel like I've got a voice, I've got my opinion. I did not specifically attack anybody, but I wanted to put my feelings out there. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Mute me, block me, do whatever. But I would have loved to have been able to explain myself, explain that it was me putting my feelings out there and not really degrading somebody. And everybody's human. I am a perfectionist. And it's really hard for me to get out of that because I've had to work so hard in school to be almost perfect in schoolwork, in grades, to make it through high school, to actually go to college. And college got a lot harder for me. And people would think as an adult, people would be open minded and be okay with it. No. I still got things in college that I did in high school or even middle school. And it wasn't, you know, I ended up quitting college because it was so much on me to work almost full time and go to school full time and paying for my own way to go to college, which I know a lot of people, you know, they don't realize that about me, which is fine, you know. And as far as judging others, it's really hard not to, but in a lot of ways, I'm the type of person I want to understand the person before I make any kind of judgments. I want to understand not always the reason why they done it or what their actions or what they've said. I want to make sure that I'm understanding what they're saying clearly because it could have two or three different meanings. And I by far am one that will stick my foot in my mouth quicker than anything. I tend to be one that will push myself to the point that people are like, oh, you shouldn't talk like that, or you shouldn't say that. What if you hurt somebody's feelings? And there again is the political correctness that I just now started learning the last couple of years. You shouldn't do this or say that. And it's really like, and the political correctness thing has changed. It there for a while, it seemed to change daily. One thing that you could say, you can't say the next day. So I get to where I'm afraid to say anything for fear that I'm going to offend somebody. And it gets to the point where it makes me wonder sometimes. And yes, I did make mistakes uh last week. I'm not proud of them, but I can sure say I've moved on from them. I've apologized. I've gotten kind of my head back on straight, so to speak, and focused more than ever on what I need to be doing rather than thinking about what everybody else thinks. And one of my one of my one of my friends once told me that you can say what you want to, but you need to expect the consequences of what you say, no matter what it is. And I'm learning to accept it, and for me to have to refocus. And I think that's a lot of the reason why there was a couple of things that happened last week that really got to me. And as much as I want to help others, and this is a question I pose for everybody, there are people I know that are out there that are willing to bend over backwards to help other people. When I explained about helping others and how it affected me, or it will affect me, where is that fine line of you'll help to a point, stop, and then let it do what you can and let it go? How do you do that? How can you put yourself in a position to be able to help somebody, but be able to stand back and say, well, I'll be here if you need me, but I'm not going to put involve myself like this, that, and the other when you keep asking questions. So that is something that I've actually been thinking about. And for me, it's not that I'm not going to help people, because that's one of my biggest things in life that I feel like that's part of my purpose is to help other people. And that's the biggest thing. That's the thing that tends to kind of drive my focus is to help others. But when it becomes to the point where it's affected me, what am I supposed to do? Do I walk away completely from it? Do I block the person? Do I say, look, I can't do this because of that? I have no clue. But in my opinion, there is that thing that you should have. I wish there was something that you can say to the other person without them feeling like you're pushing them away. And a lot of times, unless they understand you and you're good friends with them, they are not going to understand. And I think in a lot of ways, I need to stop thinking about other people and sometimes think about myself, because I know I'm always gung ho to help other people, but I don't ever put anything towards me. So a lot of my issues, the lot things that I work on or should work on, or always get pushed back just a little bit. If not, sitting in the corner with a whole bunch of dust sitting on it. But and to wrap it up, judging others is always not a good thing. Always, the way I look at it, try to give people chances. If it's somebody that's got a personality that clashes with yours, they might not be a bad person, but give somebody a chance. Reach out to somebody. I know I've been judged so many times, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to people saying things, and I used to roll with the punches. Been a long time. It's been a long time since anybody's really come at me and said something about my eyes or how I talk. And things have gotten, on that aspect, a little bit easier. And just doing social media is actually kind of hard because you can actually paint yourself in a different light than what your real life is like. And until they see you face to face, they talk to you face to face or on the phone, a lot of times people advertise themselves a little bit different than what they are in real life. So judging others, not a good thing, and putting yourself out there in a way that you can be judged, like people can think that you're lying to them if you're not. I mean, you don't have to give up information. That's not what I'm saying. Do not give up information that could be detrimental to where you live or any of that stuff, where you work at, phone numbers, addresses. Do not give up that information. I'm saying information as to how to sum up your personality, how to sum yourself up to be in such a extreme better light than what your friends see. Because if you were to ever meet that person face to face, they're going to think that you're lying about it. And when you lie about something, all of a sudden that trust is broken. So, moving right along. Now, I'm going to do this. This is actually the ending of Wing Talk. I'm going to end it right now. And if anybody wants to get up on panel with me and talk about this, you guys are more than welcome to. If anybody wants to come up on panel, just type it in the chat and we'll talk about it. And I see you, Eddie. I do appreciate it. Tell Jen very happy birthday. And I hope you guys have a good night. I am going to actually set up for panel now. I'm going to make sure I have all my stuff together and we'll talk about it. Okay, I'm actually going to put this in the chat for anybody and everybody to come up. Get rid of that thing. Oh, you're good, Irish. You always have a good perspective on different topics. I would love to see what you have to say about it.
Hello, sweetie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
But have you ever had that experience where you're like judged by everybody?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. No, I've had a lot of times that
I think I need to. Oops, where'd I go? I lost myself.
Uh-oh.
Where'd I go? I'm still getting used to my phone. Where'd I go?
Irish.
Hey guys, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. I felt like I really needed to do this Wing Talk. A lot of people have been coming around just on my Twitter, on YouTube, I've been watching people just judging others and saying things, and I don't even know if they really know what they're talking about. And all it is, I'm just tired of people judging. Just flat out showing hate for somebody that they don't even understand what's going on.
I can't find myself.
Oh no.
Help.
You have no pick.
Where'd I go? Help.
I think
God. I can't. I hit something and I went away. And now
So how's everybody doing?
Oh, there I am.
There you are.
Did you find me? There I am. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
what it was, you had it high, and that lamp was making everything else in the room dark.
I'm sorry.
You turned into a shadow for a minute.
Ooh. Well, I have to say something, Fawn. I feel really bad because I feel like I've been bugging you a lot for help.
Oh, don't be.
And I feel I won't do that no more.
And it's not that. I'm not talking about like technical stuff, or if you're having issues, I want people to be able to feel like they can come talk to me. It's just when it gets to the point where I feel like my energy and everything is going just to that, and I can't help other people at the same time. That's when it becomes a problem for me. It's almost like the one situation, and it's like I was saying earlier, all about drama.
Yeah. Oh, and if you get to the point with me that you feel like it's that way, feel free to let me know, because I want you to feel like you can tell me. Okay. And it won't hurt my feelings, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want you to feel like that. You can be honest with me, because I feel like I have a good enough friendship with you, and I would rather have you feel like you can be honest with me.
Okay.
Okay?
I appreciate that, Julie.
So, and I heard this, from a pretty smart person a long, long time ago, and they, it's about helping other people, and they said, well, if you can't help yourself first, you're not going to be able to help anybody else. That's so true.
That is true.
Because you're going to be so burnt out, You got to take care of yourself first.
Like I said, I have made myself sick over trying to help my best friend through her trouble, and I mentally had to step back, and I was surprised that she was like, "It's okay," and I'm like, "Really?"
Well, if they're your best friend, they care about you too, know. And your true friends care.
Them down.
Yeah.
By being like, I gotta step away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, especially when you don't intend to feel that much about a situation or a person or the environment. I mean, I always say it's one of my, I care too much to a fault. I always say that.
Yeah.
About whenever I try to care about someone, I go too deep. I go too deep, and it I'm still learning that fine line of where that line is.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting better at it.
It's hard, and I think people that are empaths too, that you tend to, if it's someone that you care about, or that's that thing that you have, and
it doesn't make it easy.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Same here, Fallen. Susan Freeman says, same here, Fallen. I tend to ask too many questions.
Yeah.
And I get that way a lot, where I'm like, how do I help you? You might have to give up just a little bit more information than what you gave me, because I am clueless to what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, you have a tendency to take on their problem yourself.
Yeah.
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 Oh, heck no.
We
No,
feel
not,
too much.
I refuse to do that anymore because it was like it just drive me crazy. So I got to the point it's like, okay, I'm going to do what I can and show you and give you advice and and talk about it. But what you do with what I give you is up to you. You can either grab the ball and run with it and try to improve something, or just sit there because I'm not going to do it for you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a very hard lesson to learn.
It
And I've
is.
recently learned it. And I've known my best friend for 10 plus years, and I've just learned it. And, thank God that our relationship is that strong for her to be like, thank you for
Yeah.
whatever you've done and the energy that you put into it. And we grow from there. But it's a very hard thing to learn, especially if you care so much about that person that you don't want them to get hurt, but you're watching them hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And why, and yeah,
It's
you're
like
absolutely
watching the
right.
train wreck as it's freaking happening, and you knew that was going to happen that way before it even started.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, just like I said in the chat before I stepped up, it's like, okay, I'm telling everybody right now, I am a train wreck, so don't expect too much from me. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of screwed up things, that I've had to deal with, and as I was growing up, and getting older, and learning. But it's like I did it to myself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like right now I'm kind of stuck in my situation. Things could have turned out differently for me. If I like when I had a job, I could have managed my money better for when I ended up, leaving that job. And now look at me. I'm flat out stuck. I mean, I can't even try to get myself out of it right now because there's no way I can travel to a job safely.
Yeah.
There's just
I mean, hindsight
no way.
is, I know what you're saying, but
yeah, but that's the way just about everybody is. I mean, if you see some people, it's like they look like they're not wealthy, but they look like they're doing okay. They're only 1 or 2 paychecks away from living in a vehicle.
yep.
Yeah.
Hey, even Donald Trump has filed bankruptcy how many times? It's like we can't, it's just
Yeah. I wonder how many times Bill Gates done it too.
yeah. So
yeah, well, look where Bill Gates had to. They had to develop what they did in a little 1-car garage.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people, when they take the opportunity, they can take it and run with it. But also look at people that they surround themselves with.
Yeah.
And there's been times like for me, like the people I surround myself, sometimes I have to look at myself and see if I still connect with some people, like my childhood friends. I don't really connect with them like I used to. And it's because of how we've grown and how we've grown differently. And, we all live different lives, and there have been people that make mistakes and continue to make mistakes. I kind of just wash my hands of them.
Mm-hmm.
I had one that I used to work with, actually, that would go behind my back to the boss and talk crap about me. And she was supposed to be my childhood friend since 5 years old.
That's horrible.
And then when I told her no, she went into a raging hissy fit because I told her I was not going to help her anymore, financially or otherwise.
Oh.
Of course, this is while I had a job, but
it sucks that people will show their true selves as soon as you stop bending to their will
Yep.
and put
That
up
And
is
those
true.
and those people are always the ones that keep screwing up, dragging you down instead of ever helping you. They pretty much they just drag you down. They expect you to lift them up all the time. And then it's like, so they don't put any effort into learning from their mistakes until you step away. Then they realize, oh my God, where's my lifesaver? Where's my life preserver? And they just go berserk. They don't know how to react.
Yep.
And with me, I'm pretty much as low as I can go without making myself even lower. And it's really, really hard. I mean, it's easy to make friends, but it's really hard to say, I cannot do this because right now I'm in my own dark place and I'm not able to help you right now. I can probably listen, but that's all I can do. I can't even give you advice because it will put me in a darker place.
Yeah. That's understandable.
And I've had to do that a couple times with people, and they didn't appreciate it one daggum bit.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. I was just about to say too bad on that.
Yeah.
Tell them, too bad, so sad, cheering my beer for you.
There's a tear in my beer, and
Whereas I had some drill sergeants who used to say, well, my heart pumps purple piss for you. Now drop and give me 20.
It's almost like when grandma says, I'll give you something to cry about if you don't stop crying now.
oh God, my dad used to say that.
Yep.
One of his many sayings.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, with the whole bullying thing, I mean, I've been there. Like, I've been bullied too.
Yeah.
Because I was never the skinniest. As soon as puberty hit, I went. So, I mean,
And you're so beautiful, though.
thanks. But I mean, even though it was because females are so much more cruel than
Oh, they're horrible. You're right.
I mean, bruises heal, but mental scars stay.
They're worse. And junior high girls are like the worst.
Yeah, that's
I got bullied too in junior high and like that age, and they are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, because I have ADD and I have a learning disability because I was born 3 months too early, so I didn't develop properly, and I was always made fun of because I was in the special ed class and this and that. I never could read in front of like the classmates and stuff because I didn't know how to read until I taught myself, and that's what I kept being bullied for and that and whatever. And then in I think junior high or just a little bit before junior high, I met these two girls, and I'm still friends with one of them now. And they actually were like I call them my bodyguards because every time somebody would say something, they would always step up and be like, "What'd you say?" Like,
yeah.
And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have known how to stand up for myself. So.
Well, that's cool that you at least got a couple of friends that stood up for you.
Yeah.
But it can be so painful. And like you said, it sticks with you.
I learned at a young age because of my eyes, because that was the most obvious thing that people thought of. And they would, say, because I was always a big kid, they would always call me the weird one, and I did wear glasses as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always roll with the punches. Like, they would say something, and I'm like, so what? At least I can see in two different directions, man. What can you do? See one direction.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt you inside, though, right?
Well, as an adult, I learned to just let it roll.
Yeah.
But as a kid,
it hurt.
Yeah.
Growing up, my last name was Swanson, so I got so many TV dinner jokes, and it didn't hurt my feelings. It just got annoying. I mean, people are like, "Oh, hey, TV dinners," and I'm like, "Dude, I've been hearing that for the last 10 years. Come on, is that the best you can do? Come on, do something.
Seriously.
Really go somewhere with this,
Yeah. Yeah, there comes a time and point. I think it stopped for me. You're right.
I got picked on a lot when I was a kid because of my hair, because I had red hair. I mean, it was just relentless, and my freckles.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I got picked on relentlessly because of that.
Red.
My dad was redheaded too, and freckled.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin is too.
My poor mom, you guys got to understand, she was raised with 4 other sisters, 2 and a brother. All of them were blonde, and she was the redhead. I mean, bright.
Oh, your mom's? I didn't know your mom had red hair.
Yeah, she's as she's gotten older, it's darkened and it's starting to turn white, which people with true red hair, from what she was telling me, it actually turns white. And not teasing her to be mean, but teasing her because she started getting gray right here. Just one streak of white.
That's how my grays are. Yep.
And I told her she looked like Rogue off of X-Men, and she was all proud of it. I said, you should be proud of it. I mean, that shows your wisdom, and not necessarily your age, but wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my hair has been like this for like the last 20 years. And I got a lot of friends that's like, "Oh, that's natural white." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh my God, I could dye that so many colors." Like, hell no.
I'm 53 and I don't have any gray hair yet. Thank God.
But yeah, my aunts and my uncle, well, not my uncle, because one of my aunts and uncle was the oldest, so they were gone out of the house before my mom was born. And the funny part about it was the other ones would actually pick on her and say how she was adopted and that she's really not part of the family, and just be really just downright mean. And mom kind of just, oh, what the heck ever,
Well, I'm going to step down. I'm at work, and my shift's going to be ending here in less than an hour. So.
Okay.
And this was supposed to be my Saturday, but this is day number 6 here again for week number 2.
Ooh.
So I want to go home.
I don't blame you.
Well, take care, and I hope you have a good night. Thank you for coming up.
Thanks for having me up, and I'll talk to everybody later.
Bye, Irish.
Okay. Bye, Irish.
Yeah, my mom, she's the only blonde in the family, so she was the oops baby. So she got a lot of flack from her sister.
Oh, man.
because we're all brunettes and whatnot, and even my grandparents were brunette. All of us are brunettes, and my mom's blonde. So.
And my dad had red hair, so I could pretty much. I look a lot like my dad. My dad did.
And with my mom having red hair, and my dad, his actually had like real red highlights in his hair.
Wow.
It was kind of weird. So if he got the light flash on him, or he's out in the sun a certain way.
Oh, you could see the red, I bet.
Yeah.
You didn't see brown, you saw red.
So did any of your siblings or anybody have red hair?
Huh?
Did any of your siblings have red hair then?
No.
That's
Now,
surprising.
I've got like a deep dark brown color hair, but it's got a lot of red in it. I have dyed my hair red in memory of my grandma, because that's what she would used to dye her hair. I would dye it about once a year, because if I dyed it like a lot of people do, I'm scared my hair is going to fall out like what Kelsey Davis had happened. She accidentally done it too many times, and some of her hair did come out trying to bleach it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm kind of like,
bleached it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I got to stop dyeing my hair.
Yeah.
The bleach is rough on your hair. It kills your hair. She's lightening her hair.
Yeah. And see, with mine, the red that I would normally get,
reddish beard,
it's the kind of dye that I got. I didn't use like bleach in my hair at all, but some of my hair would come out if I did try to dye it, and it would give me these highlights and all this stuff. If my hair was a lighter color on top, that's the cut. It'd be a lighter red, and then as it goes down, it gets like a deep dark color.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not looking right.
Yeah.
So.
All right, my cats are about to have a brawl.
Oh no!
It's because I gave
them
wet
who wins.
Probably the big giant one.
So where's Ghost Dog at, Amanda, today?
I'm not exactly sure. He kind of showed a sneak peek of where he was at. Not saying anything, but he did on Twitter.
Oh, is he at somebody's house?
No, he had to stop for the night. He's got to get up really early in the morning because he's got to head to Pennsylvania. And, yeah. So yeah, that's where he's going to.
Sorry.
I can hear him.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. Thank you, Carrie Ann, for being here, and I hope you have a good night. Hi, Kelly. It is very good to see you. Hi, Angel Muniz. It's good to see you.
Oh, the Cheeto guy, or the cheese puff. I was thinking of him as when he did that. It's funny.
Yeah. All right, my vocal one is the one that's.
My friend's cat. Oh my God, it's a male cat, and he's really big, and they have like a doggy door so he can go outside if he wants, but he will come to her and want her to let him out the front door, and then like he'll come back in by himself, but she has to let him out the front door, and he has like the weirdest meow. It's like meh, 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 meh. I've never heard a cat meow like that in my life. It's so funny. It's the most obnoxious meow I've ever heard out of a cat.
Everybody be frightened. Everybody be frightened.
Oh my God.
Hi, Redbeard.
Howdy, 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 howdy.
Redbeard.
Hi,
Oh,
Redbeard.
hello, everybody.
So where are you at?
I am in Tampa, Florida.
Nice. I wish I was.
Are you taking a break?
Nope. I'm a driving.
I can tell because you can't see him.
I am heading to hold on, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh wow.
I forgot
You
where I was
just
going.
you get going, don't you?
Man,
Never stop.
Wait till y'all somebody's on a panel tomorrow. Everybody remember this. Where I'm at right now and where I'm going. And then by the next time y'all talk to me, see where I'm at then. And you'll see how quick we moving butt on down the highway.
Ooh.
That ought to be interesting.
I know the other day I spoke to, who was it? Oh, it was my mother. She asked me, where are you at? And I said, oh, I think I was at the time I was in Pennsylvania. And I said, I'm in Pennsylvania. And I talked to her for a couple of hours, got off the phone with her. She called me the next day, roughly about the same time. And she asked me where I was at. And I told her, I said, well, I'm in Iowa. And she's like, how the hell did y'all move at?
She's in my state.
I told her, I said, hell, we don't stop. We just keep on trucking down the road.
Yeah, if he wasn't sleeping when he went past my area, could have been able to meet up. But I mean, if he was asleep, I wouldn't want to wake him up or anything anyway.
And you think go freaking ghost dog the bear when it gets woke up? Boy, you gotta check me out.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do that.
And I will say this: truckers have a hard time pinpointing where they're going to be at whatever time. Because if they are going to stop somewhere, they have to be where they can actually pull over and park, and they can only spend maybe 30 minutes in the spot. But it also depends on if they're at a truck stop or not. In my area, I got a truck stop, but it's 30 minutes towards the mountains. Truck stop. So it would be really hard for me to meet up with anybody without doing that. Or let's say a Walmart. There are places around here like Walmart that's right off the highway that they can pull into and be okay with it. The company be okay with it. Mm-hmm. So, there's a couple times that's happened where I've met up with Ghost Dog at a Walmart, not in my city because it's not that close to the highway, but the city next to us. I was able to meet him there, and people and Redbeard could vouch for this. They have no say so really exactly unless you're a owner of a truck,
owner operator
working for unless you're doing that. You go where they tell you to go, and really you don't have a choice in it.
And there are, to basically to finish in what she was saying with that is most of these companies are what they call forced dispatch. So, like she said, they tell you where to go, you go. You tell them you don't want to go there, they tell you tough shit, or you end up, you know, you find a new job. There are companies out there that do have non-forced forced dispatch, and but you don't find them very often. But I mean, my theory is if they're if they're sending me somewhere, that means I'm getting some miles and I'm making money.
Yep.
You know, why would I want to give it? You know, well, the only thing I think I would say, no, you can kiss my butt. I ain't going there. I've been here long enough. I'll tell them that. Is I ain't going to New York City.
Oh, I wouldn't want to go there either, just because the traffic would be so crazy. It'd be, you know, driving a semi. I'd be even a car for that matter.
And I've known people that that are truckers, because one of my ex-boyfriend's mothers was a truck driver. This scenario tends to happen, and I've seen this happen a couple times with other people. You get told to go one way, and if there's an emergency with another trucker, they end up that company will end up giving that one way that's like a lot of miles to, you know, if there's an emergency, they will switch the whatever you call it, the loads on you depending on what's happening. You know, if a trucker has to go back to their state, then what they have to do is maneuver everything around if it's an emergency. But
they do that all the time.
It's pretty much slipping the rug right out from underneath you. There goes part of your paycheck, good paycheck you're going to get, you know, because they go by the mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it all the time to us. They, especially as a team, you know, we'll be on a load and, you know, we'll be halfway to where we're going, and all of a sudden they'll tell us, oh, well, we need you to turn around, you know, go back 100 miles to this town here and drop your load there, and you're going to meet somebody else that's going to take your load. And then you're going to run over here to this town and you're going to save this load because it's more important than your load. But then it may be anywhere between 300 to 500 miles shorter than what you were just getting paid that they made you take away, or that you were taking already.
I heard somebody was supposed to go to like almost across the country from the all the way north to the bottom, and somebody had an emergency, and it was like 800 miles that they would have had to truck. And I'm like,
really? Because
somebody else needed to get home, and they had to call in dispatch to get them to switch everything around. And
oh, that'd be suck.
Are you freaking serious? That's just however many dollars that is, you know, 800 miles times however many cents per mile they get, you know? That's freaking
800
crazy.
About 800 miles for what I get paid, probably an 800 mile load. It was roughly, I'd lost probably about $230, $240 that day.
Yeah. It sucks.
That sucks.
I'm not a trucker. I'm not in the company, but hearing a bunch of them kind of stories, it freaking sucks. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Yep. It does suck a big old baloney log. And it happens more time than, you know, people can shake a stick at. It happens a lot.
And like Ghost Dog, I've been teasing them about it, kind of, I guess in a way panicking, because I feel like I'm never going to get in his truck. But I want to be able to get in his truck and whatnot. It's just they're not sending him down this route for me to get picked up, you know, go with him and whatnot. And I'm like,
seriously? What sucks though is, they could give him a load and then go down there, and then he could be almost there, and then all of a sudden they turn him and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's always, even if you gotta, say, hey, I'm coming, man. That's not 100. You're not 100% going to actually make it there.
There is been one time, the first time I ever met him, I was getting kind of cold feet about, and it wasn't me. It was the fact that he told me in an hour he'd be here. Hour and a half comes by, and I'm like calling him. I can't get a hold of him because he's on the phone with somebody else at the time, and I was like, dude, I was trying to make I was trying to make sure that you're coming because I don't want anything to change up. And he only could take a 30-minute break at the time with me, so we didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time together, hanging out or whatever. But, it was nice to be able to meet up with him. Finally, after a few months of talking to him, and he's like, oh, hey, I want to go out and meet people. He's not always going to be able to meet people. And that's the thing with him. He has to manage his time really wisely and be able to get everything on time. Mm-hmm. So, he's getting tired of me actually bugging him about coming to North Carolina. He really is.
It's just, like the time that I met Carol up there when y'all seen the pictures that I took and everything. I'm trying to think. I got in there and I said I was only going to be able to spend about 30, maybe 45 minutes there. But I ended up spending an hour there, a little over an hour. But I wanted to stay longer. I mean, of course, you get to meet somebody new for the first time, or you want to meet them, you want to spend, enough time with them and all that stuff. But, I had to keep going, I had to hurry and get to where I was going. And with me stopping that hour, it put me to where I was going like 30 minutes before I was actually supposed to be there. So, so I would have had an extra hour, I'd have been there an extra hour early if I would have, wouldn't have stopped. So, it really, it's really a pain in the ass. So
yeah,
you try to, like you said, you really got to manage your hours.
Well, I always tease Ghost Dog because he always goes and sees Carol, but he doesn't stop and see me.
And I even tease him about, he'll say something and I'm like, oh, I think that's where such and such might end up being. And he's like, don't tell anybody anything. Because if you tell them and I don't get there in time to have enough time to get where I need to go, I'm not going to be able to stop. So a lot of times that's what I have to do. I mean, I have the list. Uh-oh.
Who'd we lose? Redbeard.
I'll have the list of people in the city and the state that they're in. And I'll look through it and I'm like, trying to figure out, is there somebody on his route or is there somebody that could possibly meet him within his route? And I can't, there's just no way. Sometimes he doesn't have the time. There's been times that he's said that he's been at a place maybe 15 minutes earlier than the appointment time, because there are places you have to have an appointment or you're going to miss it. Yeah. It'll be a few hours later and then you're stuck there just waiting.
Does he know what city I live in, Amanda? I think he does.
I don't know if he does or not. And anybody wants to be on that list to meet him, just DM me, let me know what city and state, because he's going to end up forgetting.
Chief.
I'll DM you so he make sure he knows.
Okay.
Hey, Chief. I can't see the chat, so hi, Chief.
Okay, Redbeard, I was wondering what happened. Hi, Chief. If you would like to come up, let me know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for it's a giver that he wouldn't be able to come up and actually meet me or Chief because of Canada and on the other opposite end of where he usually does deliveries and stuff. Because where we live is on the West Coast.
Yeah, he told me stories about where he used to be in Canada, and because of the customs or something about the customs, even towards going towards Mexico, it's really strange. And he's, for some reason, like that company that he works for doesn't give him any loads up to Canada.
Schneider?
So yeah, so he not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, we're seeing less and less truckers from the States, because I used to always notice on especially our highway that runs through the city. I used to notice a lot of truck drivers and the long haul truck drivers. And I used to be like, oh, Wisconsin. Oh, I would always look at the license plate. And then I've noticed that it's decreased. And it's only within Canada now. And it's like, where are all my people from the States,
Yeah.
With politics nowadays,
Yeah, no kidding. Politics are horrible.
Yeah, I try to stay away from it as much as I can. It's one of those things that I'm just like, get over it, get out of it, don't put me in it at all.
Yeah.
Because I look at the people as a whole, even though I may care about politics enough to try to make a decision on who's, in my, where, I can make a decision for my area.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to put my beliefs out there for someone to either bully, harass, or censor. And I feel like it's one of those things that it is a touchy subject because people actually physically fight over stuff like that. I don't like that. I think I don't know what has possessed people nowadays, because it was not like this before, or as at least to this extent now, that people get in physical fights and riots over politics. I just don't see the sense in it.
No. Like on Facebook, the people I went to high school with.
I won't go on Facebook anymore.
Some of them, oh my gosh, they have to get the last word in. They're always right until they have their. I mean, it doesn't matter that they've known these people forever, but they just have to get the last word in till people block them. They don't want to be around them anymore.
Yeah.
I won't go on Facebook anymore. It's just horrible. The politics on there, it's just crazy.
I to tell my dad, because he was getting so frustrated because, trying to defend himself and whatnot. I'm like, Dad, just drop it.
Don't engage. Get off. Yep.
Dad, they'll never see your side. You'll never see their side. Just agree to disagree.
I like it. I used to like to get in debates with people, but nowadays they have to, properly, yeah. And there's been a lot of times people try to bully me into changing my decision. I'm like digging my heels. I'm like, look, dude,
you're not going to bully me into changing.
Is one ear out the other,
Yeah.
it's not changing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to. I mean, because I am who I am, and what I believe is what I believe.
Exactly.
And I'm not pushing. Like, I'll put up a point, but I'm not going to go in there and try to push my beliefs on politics onto somebody else.
Exactly. And it's not like all that fighting's going to, like you said, it's not going to change anybody's mind. It's just dividing people more. But, you know, a lot of that problem is they have like those Russian bots that go in there and they're fake accounts, and they go in there just to stir people up.
Yeah,
And
like
it's,
trolls.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I just don't even go. I completely quit going on Facebook, and I just do this because it's more fun.
And to me, I look at it as just an aspect of somebody's personality, how they feel and how they believe.
Yeah.
That's not the defining thing about them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It doesn't make who they are yet.
And Carrie Ann, I'm glad that you have never had Facebook. I would not recommend
do
being
it.
on Facebook.
No.
Twitter can be just as bad, but Facebook, oh my goodness.
Yeah, Facebook. And they have all those ads on Facebook and stuff. And yeah.
I'm just saying that, you know, my perspective, what I've learned. I've got over 1,000, I think 1,500 people on Facebook that follow me. And then on Twitter, I'm about at 3,600 followers. So, yeah. I'm kind of like, I've learned as I was going along, especially this last year, what I should and should not do every time. Now, there's been times I've gone toe to toe with some of the trolls, and they've ended up blocking me, or I've reported them. So, you know, eventually a couple of them did get gone because there were like troll type accounts on Twitter, and I'm like,
that's just it. Half the time they're robots, so they're not even people.
Yeah.
Was anybody in Patty's live a while ago where she was talking about some of the trolls that kept showing up?
Yes, did you see some of those?
I heard some of the names she was calling out.
But their names, the names of the people that were the trolls were horrible. That one person.
Corpse. One was something corpse, and
that one wasn't so bad. The other one was like a really bad, nasty name.
With an F, the F word.
Yes.
And Patty said it out loud, and her granddaughter.
Yes, and the grandkid was in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed it too. I was debating whether or not to go live at the time because I seen where she was live, and I was like, I went into, I think, Brian's Paranormal too. I watched both of them as much as I could be there, but then something in the back of my mind said I needed to talk about what I talked about, and because
Angel.
of what happened last week,
Hey.
Hi, Angel.
Hey, Julie.
To me, what happened last week, it just made me feel like I needed to really put this out there, even if it was midnight. And I mean, right now it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'm glad you did though.
Yeah, me too.
How are you doing, Angel?
I'm doing well there, Fallen Angel.
Looks like you got a haircut there.
Yeah, did you get a haircut?
Like a couple weeks back, because I need to get a haircut before I started my volunteer position at the Science Center here in Arizona. And you guys were talking about like the cheese puff man of meat. Well,
yeah.
With me, the Flaming Hot Cheetos variety.
Nice.
But they're not.
Awesome.
They're not the puffs, though, are they?
No, they're the crunchy. Cause every time I look for the Flaming Hot Puffs, I can never find them for some odd reason. I can only find the crunchy Flaming Hot ones.
Oh, I like the puffs.
I see them at Walmart here in North Carolina.
can't
don't want
stand
the
those.
hot ones.
I can't stand.
I can't either.
Eat to a point. I can eat jalapenos, but I have to have something to kind of like quote unquote chase it.
Milk.
Basically, what you mean by is wash it down.
Huh?
When you said chase it, I think another term is wash it down.
Yeah, wash it down with like milk or eat bread.
Milk,
or
bread,
something.
yeah.
Yep.
I cannot stand spicy food. My mouth, I have issues with my mouth. And so when I do eat it, people think it's just hot, it just burns a little bit. Mine is more intense because of the way my mouth is. And it's not a good
So basically what you're saying is you cannot handle spicy things because for me, the spice level and the flaming hot is okay with me. But if I were to give you one, it would be too intense for your taking.
Watch what down the toilet, Chief?
What do you
I'm
say?
confused here.
I can't see it because I
Now
don't
watch
have
it
chat.
down the
What's it
toilet.
say?
I watch it down the toilet. Watch. WATCH.
So doing something like a Ghost Reaper
I think he
pepper
meant
challenge or something like that, I'm not going to be able to do. And plus, I have asthma.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
It will close my lung. I could already tell you this. It will close my lungs up where I can't breathe. I'm not going to do it. Too many people that have asthma.
I have asthma. I know what you're saying.
I can imagine though. Oh.
That's a scary feeling when you have an attack. It's almost
Yes.
like you got to breathe, but how in the heck do you breathe? You know, you trying to get your inhaler to work and whatnot, and sometimes it does take a little bit of time.
Because when your mouth is in a burning sensation, it's kind of hard to breathe when you're going,
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now water will make it worse.
Yeah, it does.
Water when you're hot.
Yep.
And the heat that comes from peppers, it's called capsaicin. That stuff, if you bust that in your mouth, it's very intense and it's really hard to get rid of. Something like milk or bread is the best thing to help. It doesn't get rid of it completely. It just helps it neutralize.
Yeah.
But then you're going to feel sorry afterward because you're going to have to go use the bathroom. So you get burned twice.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh gosh. I won't ask, Chief.
Oh, what's he saying?
He said, "Don't ask."
Oh.
I've tried to talk to Ghost Dog about maybe doing some kind of challenge like that, and he's like, "Do you think I'm not that stupid?" And him being a truck driver, it's really hard for him.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
It just would be bad.
Overall, bad situation. Even if he had it, he done it, he passed it.
He'd pass it again.
Yeah, the second passing is what's going to be the worst.
Yeah.
I love Ghost Dog, aka Haunted Trucking, even though he often gets like uncomfortable when I call him Panty Dog because he does hashtag Haunted Trucking Panty Raid whenever he raids people.
Gee, I don't know why.
I love Haunted Trucking.
He's a very cool person.
But believe it or not, I was curious of who he was, but the more I attended his streams and the more I joined his own panels, he is a downright home panty dog.
Panty dog.
And he's almost at his goal. I have not
How
seen
far away is he?
He's, let me go check. I think it's just under 30. but that can change in a heartbeat. YouTube has gotten to where they are.
I was at 90 and I lost subs. I'm like, well, God dang it.
They are getting to where
that's because YouTube is purging again.
Yeah, they're getting rid of what they call extra subs.
Yeah.
I'm like, God dang it.
I'm gonna mute you for a second, Julie. I'm gonna the way it's going is the people that they feel like are being more of a spam subscriber, meaning that they just go to hit subscribe, they don't watch, they don't really interact with people. They're throwing those out of the numbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, so and also the time, there's certain things about watch times. They can actually look and see if it's coming from the same household.
Yeah.
And they will end up having to they'll end up deleting some of those minutes from the ones that are coming from the same household, which is a pain.
Where did I hear about that?
I think Pusa has mentioned it too.
Yeah.
You good there, Julie?
Yes. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Well, I just want to say that I think a lot of these things that people are concerned about, they're more so giving YouTube the ideas, because ever since when the purge started happening last year, and when the whole AdSense apocalypse happened in 2017, but that was when people became concerned and such. And I think as time goes along and people get even more concerned, wondering what will happen next, or when is this going to happen, you're giving them that ideas, because the people around YouTube watch your streams and to make sure if it fits their monetization criteria status and such. And you're kind of like giving these ideas when they go over your stream or video.
I'm not even monetized though.
Well, I'm just saying for those that are.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen anything out of the other Amanda?
No.
I haven't seen her in a while. I know she said that she was pretty sick, that she was going to go get checked out, but that's all I heard.
Last I saw, she was in the hospital.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Oh wow.
She said for a few days, and then I haven't seen. I hope she's okay.
Definitely going to be praying for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been having a rough time.
And Fallen Angel, I find you super adorable every time you bring your eyes to a strange position. Like one is looking left, one is up, going up and down. You're super adorable, and you're a great person.
Oh, thank you, Angel. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I think you have beautiful eyes. I like you just the way you are.
Yeah, I love her. But as a friend, of course.
I always thought your eyes were beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
I always had, been bullied, been judged, before I even get seen a lot of times, and a lot of times it's been negative. It seems like YouTube and Twitter and stuff, there's more people that are accepting of it, which I do appreciate, and I love that fact. It's really sad that it took me getting onto social media for, me not to get any negative. Not all of them are not negative. Some are negative, but there's more acceptance than there is negativity.
Well, that's good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just find everybody, I don't know. I love people for who they are, and I like that people are unique. And if everybody was the same, it'd be a boring world,
I find that people are beautiful in their unique way because even the flaws that they have, I'm not saying, the bad, the bad negative stuff. I'm talking about they're beautiful in their own way. The things that people perceive as wrong or messed up on them, or how sometimes they come off. I believe everybody is unique and everybody's beautiful because of those little flaws they may have.
Yep.
Like me with my eyes. I think it's so unique. You don't you see it, but you don't always see it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I thought that's one thing right away. The first time I saw you, Amanda, that was the first thing I thought was I thought your eyes were beautiful. And
I mean, people can take it whichever way, but I always find that everybody is unique. Everybody's beautiful because of those unique flaws they have.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what background you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter, if you're like me. I have a tendency, even though I am very helpful and I try to stay positive, I do get in those little dark moments that are negative. And sometimes I can span that negativity out for like 2 or 3 weeks or more. And I can't sometimes bring myself out of it.
I'm the same.
But in the same, even when I'm that way, I still find others, beautiful. I still try to find some kind of positive moment within that time of negativity.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do. But people say it's just easy because it's a choice.
No.
Not all the time can the light be seen when you're going through a dark space.
No.
And
no. I hate when people say that because I've had problems with depression since I was in high school. And I get so tired of people saying, well, you're choosing to feel like that way. You could just choose to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and be positive. And it's like, no, it's a chemical thing, it's not, I get tired when people say that. It makes me angry.
And people say mind over matter, and a lot of time, and that is true to
to extent.
But you can't put your mindset to this being chicken salad, and when in reality it's, lack of a better word, chicken shit.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's kind of like, I mean, when somebody's in that negativity zone, and even if you're saying the most beautiful things you could ever say to somebody, if they're in that negative state of mind, it's really hard for them to see the positive, the beautiful side of what is being said.
Yeah, or to accept it.
Yeah.
Because they're not thinking positive about themselves, so it's hard to believe what you're telling them. If that makes sense.
It's just like last night, I was kind of, me and Ghost Dog were halfway teasing, like we were playing a game called Golf Clash. He happened to be online at the same time I was and wanted to play me in a couple of courses. And that kind of I just kind of let him win a few games. I don't know if it was me just letting him win, but I couldn't get on it for like a couple of weeks, so I had to get used to playing it again. But then he said, he pretty much told me, quit letting me win, play a real game. And for a couple of rounds, I kicked his butt.
Yeah. There you go.
But in the end, I mean, he ended up saying, you're good. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I haven't played this in forever, and I'm sitting here, like trying to figure this thing out again because I done forgot how to play part of it. And he's like, "You're just good at it." I was like, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are. Shut up."
Yeah.
And biggest things I've learned about me is even when I'm going through the negativity and chaos, it's where you find your strength too.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird. People take it weird. But even in your lowest points or your low points, you find your strength. And it can come in the weirdest ways.
Yep. I totally get that.
Yep.
What's that noise? What's that? Is that you, Angel?
No.
He's not even hearing me. Not you. I'm not following Angel.
Well, I'm still here, but I don't know what that clank clank sound is because it's not me.
I'm listening for it. I don't hear it on my end. It sounds like a clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like some form of ticking clock.
And I'm sorry. Melanie, were you saying something?
It sounds like a bag rattling and something thumping around. Nobody else hears it?
Well, I have no idea what it is.
I have no clue.
I have a clock over on my dresser. I don't know if it's that.
And I want to add on to you guys' conversation. You see, the unique thing about me that a lot of people say is I have one of the most contagious laughs that people have ever heard.
I love your laugh.
Anytime you laugh, I want to laugh too.
I know.
But as I was saying, because people have often referred to me as Joker. People have often made the audio track of my laugh, and there was one time that Ghost Mafia had some form of audio track of a laughter that sounded almost exactly like mine, and I'm glad that people see that. But one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about me is there are times that I do become a bit overreactive, a bit emotional, and it's not my intention. It's just there are times I do actions before I even think it through, because there was one time that I erupted on a live stream, and was that my intention? No. It's just got to me there during that, and I didn't mean to come out like I did. It's just those were the things that happened, and it wasn't my intention. And a lot of people saying, "Well, why don't you think before you act?" I've tried that, and a lot of times when I do that, it doesn't work out as I had hoped, because my actions happen when they do.
I've had the same thing happen to my own live stream. I know a couple people on here could see it, and I apologize for the way I did act. It was a knee-jerk reaction, and it did. The biggest thing was my computer was messing up, and every time I come in, I felt like everybody got quiet because of me, like I was dampering everything. And looking back at it now, it was I overreacted. I let my emotions get a hold of me quicker than it should have. And because of how bad I felt about it, I did make it private, because I did not want that to be a stain on me, a reflection of me badly, and for people to judge me in a bad light, because we are all human. We make mistakes. Yeah. And I went around and apologized to everybody, I believe. I felt bad about it, really bad. And that's why it took me so long to even do a wing talk or anything. And the one that was mainly it seemed like I was mainly quote unquote after, I apologized to them as well, and really apologized, and he kind of understood and he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is
I
somebody
still,
in the basement?
no.
If someone said that they would either probably have left it in the public chat or in the private.
Yeah, I don't see nothing.
But as you were saying, Fallen.
But yeah, I mean, I have a tendency to do like you've done before, Angel, where it was just like a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Didn't really think about it before I reacted to the situation and looked at it as a whole.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly what it is with me. And I been trying to get in contact with some people for the past few months. And the thing is, it's like as though they don't want to speak to me. And I just want to like apologize to the person. I mean, my action wasn't directed towards the people or anyone, but when they saw it, they're like they're like scared of me now, and I don't want to make any people uncomfortable of me, even if it's not directed towards them. I just want them to understand that it wasn't my intention or my thought of having that happen. It was just a knee-jerk reaction, as you say, Fallen. And I just want the people around me to understand that I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, and understand a lot of actions that people see on a stream. They often don't like want to have that person around because they're worried that it would happen on their own live stream. And I don't blame the people who are kind of afraid of me and all. And people often said that they consider me a bit unpredictable, but that's just my character, and I don't mean to make them feel like, ugh.
Right. And I mean, I'm the same way. There are times that like I'll get to the point where I don't want to be on panels. I don't want to be in a position to be on the spotlight necessarily when I'm going through that feeling. When I'm going through those feelings, and when I feel dark, I don't want to bring down everybody else. So I've gotten to where I've avoiding the best I can to like be on YouTube, like in a panel, even though I might be invited up there. You know, and you hate to have to decline too, because that might be the only opportunity you get to be on somebody's panel.
Right.
But in declining, you know, you might make it a safe, I would say a safer bet that you're not going to have, you know what I'm saying? It's like guarding yourself.
Yeah.
But hindsight's 2020, and like I said, you know, people make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that people that know you love you for who you are, regardless of the mistake you may have made, or, you know, and they will support you either way. And I've had a lot of, after what happened on Twitter, I had a lot of people supporting me, even though they said I might not have went about it the right way. They still support me and love me. And I've come to find out, who would stand behind me if something really bad happened, who would be there to talk to me if I was, something like physically was going on with me.
Yeah.
Not just this mental thing that's been going on with me. And in finding that, I found my strength to say I'm sorry, and found the strength to be like, well, there's a way to hold back and there's a way to let your opinion ride.
Yeah.
And Wing Talks have helped me tremendously because I can actually put my opinion out there and still respect people and still put myself in a position where, once it's been said on Wing Talk, it's done. And I don't have to deal with it no more. It's like a weight lifted off of me on certain things. Now, if it's something to do with, let's say there were specific trolls that were making these points on other people's channels, and what I would do is do the research of, that YouTuber. And then I would put my opinion out there, whether or not that statement is true or not. And then just keep my opinion out there. If you go back to my first couple of Wing Talks, that's what I done. And that's the way I'm going to keep doing it if things like that arise. And like Chief actually says, I love everybody the way they are. And that's true. When you love somebody, you also have to take into account how do they act when they aren't going through a negative state. Otherwise, if you can't handle the negative part of it, how can you handle that person? If you love that person regardless, that is really good. That's really cool. But a lot of people also got to look at the good and bad side of everybody. To me, it's the same with a relationship. Can you deal with the way somebody acts when they're angry or upset or any of that? If they're putting their opinion out in a certain way that is demeaning towards you or disrespecting you, you got to take that into account. How are you going to handle that? So I'm just putting my opinion out there one more time. But I'm a lot better than I was last week. My focus was to do something every single day last week, and I didn't do it. And I apologize, but there was a lot of stuff that happened last week. There was the Remembrance Day, was Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day, which I talked about on the live stream that I blew up at, and I was really upset, and it didn't look nice. That same week was the anniversary of my grandmother's birthday and death. So having those, I just naturally got to where, because she passed away when I was 17 years old. And she lived right down the road from me at the time. So I guess it became a natural thing that I was always down in the dumps for that week that my grandmother's birthday was on, because of the fact that she died like a couple days, 2 or 3 days before she actually had another birthday. So it just, I guess that's kind of instinctively I get in a bad mood for that week. And I wasn't really thinking about it, but yeah, that was part of it too. But
I'm like that with my grandpa's death. My grandma just passed away in March, but I'm like that with my grandpa that passed away 4 years ago. That day I'll be like really just like in a dark room, just like meh, and then the next day or so I'm gonna say I'll be okay. But I think it's like a remembrance / grievance thing
Yeah, I'm like that with my dad. He actually it's coming up. He died November 30th, 2008. And we're coming up on that pretty soon, and that's always a really hard day for me.
And Friday is my stepmom's would have been birthday. So I'm like mentally trying to be there for my dad, which is alone right now because my aunt's away. And I'm like, do something, Dad. Go out, do something, Don't be alone,
Yeah.
But
tell me to go out and take some pictures.
What is weird, and next month is also going to be kind of weird for me. Even though it's a holiday, with Thanksgiving coming up in the United States and whatnot. I cannot remember because it happened so close. I think it was my grandmother had passed away in 2014-ish. My mom's mom had passed away November 19th. The year before, my grandfather, her dad, passed away November 20th.
Whoa.
Yeah. So a couple of years after that happened, it kind of was really rough on my mom. And I just got to where I'm just like really saddened, really, just depressed around those days because they were the first things that really never happened. My grandparents dying really, I guess in the back of my mind it stays there, but I try not to think about it, and it still it still tends to come out, so my emotions around that time are always going to be a little bit higher than it usually is.
Yeah,
I understand. My dad, well, he died on that year. It was Thanksgiving, and then my grandma, she died right around Christmas. In fact, her funeral was on Christmas Eve. So I hate the holidays. I hate them. I mean, starting in Thanksgiving and all through Christmas is just a really hard time for me. It's just, everybody's all happy and it's holidays and you're supposed to be all happy, and I hate them. Honest to God, it's really a hard time for me. And I don't hardly have any family now. I just have my son because I'm an only child and I have just my son. And then my dad passed away, so it's just me and my son and my mom. And that's it. So, and my mom's getting old and she's getting to where she's kind of losing her memory. And so it's just a hard time of year.
Yeah. Don't you just hate that, like how things change from when you're a kid to an adult?
Yeah.
How reality tends to set in when you're, when as an adult, you kind of have to like, okay, I got to think straight, got to keep my head on, stay in reality. Kind of almost like you have to stay in your own lane, I guess, so to speak. And, but how can you stay in your lane when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to make yourself a better person, probably get out of the same situations maybe your family was in growing up? I just hate that there's, that we all will leave this world at some point, and I hate thinking about that. I really do.
Yep. I agree.
And Anna says, you have all of us too, Julie. We are all family.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to need you guys around the holiday time because it's going to be really difficult.
And they're falling during the holidays. If you need a second pair of eyes, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Angel.
I love you too. I appreciate everybody coming to this Wing Talk. I was surprised. I was like, I'm just going to sneak this in and hopefully nobody would really, really notice.
Haha.
But
You should know better.
Yeah, well, I just hit 700 like within this last week. I've been seesawing from 697 all the way up
I
to
know.
700.
I've been watching it.
And I'm like, is it going to stay? And the next day I'm like, damn it. Back down to 690 something.
And Fallen, you said you were surprised to see this many people come to your stream because you weren't expecting it. Every so often I feel that same way myself because whenever I do a stream, I often get anywhere from like 5 to 8 people on average. But every so often I would think I'm going to get the same number, but no, I get a higher number than usual because over this past Monday, I was at In-N-Out for the first time, and I was expecting to get the average or less numbers than I usually do. But no, I had about 15 people through the stream.
That's awesome.
Well, good, Angel.
So yeah, I'm always surprised myself because if there's been a consistent amount of time wherever I do a live stream and I have a small number of people, I'm always like, wow, I didn't expect this many people because I would think it will be the same number once again.
Yeah. I remember even Haunted Trucking. I remember I actually first started not the first live stream he ever done, but it was the second one he's ever done. And I still remember it because he makes these titles to that are kind of like they'll stick in your mind a little bit. And they're kind of oddball. And this one, I remember looking and seeing, help me calm my butt down.
That sounds like Kim.
And I'm like, I'm thinking, should I?
This was before you knew him.
And he happened to go live right as I was logging into YouTube. And so I got in there and it was me and Abraxas there for the longest time. And then, people started coming in, but for the longest time, it was just me and Abraxas Paranormal.
For the longest time when Haunted Trucking was starting out doing streams, it was you, Abraxas, and Haunted Trucking for a while before his channel started growing and before he started having more people come on and such.
It was like me and him for the first couple of streams that and his streams would only last maybe an hour and a half long, maybe. And it was him using the actual YouTube mobile streaming thing.
Before YouTube applied that whole 1,000 subscriber requirement.
Yeah. And he done a good job. He kept my attention. Usually I'm jumping from stream to stream, but he kept my attention.
What did you think the first time you went to one of his streams?
I was kind of like, hi. What did I get into? But talking to him, he was kind of nervous. It was the second time he was doing it. So, he was more or less explaining that, how he's a truck driver and how he kind of what happened to make him in a hotel room because he said, I'm never in a hotel room unless something happens to my truck.
Mhm.
And I know a few questions that we asked were about his spirit guides to see if he could get the names of his spirit guides. And I remember being really kind of nervous at first. Like, I've always, for the last 5 or 6 years, I've always been able to hear.
Mhm.
This is going to sound crazy. I can hear a lot better than most people could. I already kind of knew that. But, and the way I could tell was really like going on and watching Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters. And you know, they put those little stupid titles in there. And I'm thinking, I heard that, but I heard about 4 other things on top of that. Why didn't y'all put that stuff in there? Hello? Am I the only one hearing it? You know, that sort of thing. And so when I went in there and he encouraged us to actually put down what we thought we heard, and he was not going to tell what he thought was going on in the spirit box, I was like, ooh.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, and if you know how he did it, how did he come up with the whole haunted trucking #panty raid thing?
Angel.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of panty raids?
Because where did he come up with the panty raid idea?
I think he's actually said this in a live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain this. Do you know the concept of where truckers tend to get women's panties at?
No, I never heard that.
Anybody want to help?
No. You're on your own, girlfriend.
Well, Ghost Dog has this story of there was a truck driver that had a passenger who happened to be a lady riding in the truck, and they could have been a team truckers or whatever. And for some reason, this woman had a pair of panties, and it just so happened the trucks were going like this side by side. And he got close enough to where the woman was like ushering him to roll down his window. Mm-hmm. And so he done that, and they got close enough to where she reached out her hand and gave him a pair of her underwear with writing on it. I think it was like her telephone number or something. He said he's got it stashed somewhere. But so, I mean, kind of as a joke, you know, that's where haunted trucking is like haunted trucking panty raid. So that's kind of where it came from. And talking about haunted trucking, the name that he put out, his KW, his Kenworth truck that he had, I can tell you, I can vouch for it, because of where I can pick up that there's some activity going on, and he's mentioned stories along the way of what's happened in this truck, and I can kind of halfway witness, I guess, a couple things that have happened in this truck that were paranormal. He's talked about getting pushed in that truck. He's had his air horn move, nobody around, and he's done things and had to tell stories. There was things that happened in this truck that were paranormal that There's no way it could have happened. And so that's where he come up with haunted trucking.
Well, panty raids.
They used to do those in college.
Yes.
And dormitories.
Guys would go around to dormitories and girls would give them their panties. So it's not just for truckers. It's used to occur and came up years ago. I mean, back in the 60s or 70s. I remember hearing about it.
Even the 50s. They go to like sororities and raid them and go steal their panties.
So there's that too. But I do remember that, specific story he told about picking up a pair of panties and driving down the road in his truck. But
that's too funny.
What person, Anna?
Well, glad you could tell me, because it must have been like a stream during the early ones that he did before I even found his channel, and I probably wasn't there to hear about it, because I found the Haunted Trucking's channel about 4 or 5 months ago, and if he told that story longer than that, then I was not there at the time.
And Jason, this is not a DJ channel. We are not bots. We are not going to get copyrighted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so. Hey, Fallen. I'm going to try to press the chat on my phone. If I drop out, can you let me come back up?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, because I can't read the chat, but there's a chat thing on the bottom, and I tried to do it the other day, and I think it dropped me out.
Actually, there's a chat option on StreamYard that you can tap, and there's private and live chat.
Yeah.
And,
well, on my phone, it's a little different, so I'm just going to try to do it and see what happens.
All right.
Okay, I'll let you back in.
I know I've hit the leave button.
Okay, now I can see the chat, but I can't see you guys.
We can still see you.
But I can't see you guys.
You can't see us?
No, she can only hear us. I mean, that's one thing about mobile. It's like you sacrifice being able to see everybody else.
Yeah.
Whoops.
See, that's what happens. That's what happens is the leave button is so close to the chat button that I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. She left.
Do.
She'll be back.
I so want to send a music clip to Haunted Trucking just to mess with him, because that song that he said the other day that he was like, it's stuck in my head. Well, I found that same video and I sent it to him. I'm like, is this the one you're talking about?
Baby Shark?
Oh, no, not Baby Shark. Everybody's like, I like your accent when you sing it. And I'm like, really?
The first time I ever heard someone sing was during a panel stream that I was on last year, and I was like, huh? So I looked it up, and wow, it was one of the oddest songs I've ever heard that directed towards kids, but at the same time, many adults both love it and hate it.
Well, they had it on Saturday Night Live.
Well, I guess I won't do that again.
If you get a little stylus or something that's made for that phone, it would work better, probably.
I just won't worry about it. I'll just have to ask people what people are saying.
Yeah, they poked fun at that song and everything, but now they're playing it at like raves and stuff. I'm like,
Are you
no.
kidding me?
I'm like, this is the most annoying song in the entire world. I'm so happy my nephew is done with that song.
And earlier this summer, Kellogg's introduced a Baby Shark cereal.
Oh God.
Let's all rush out and buy some.
It's probably like sugar crap cereal, that's not good for you.
Probably has marshmallows in it too.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Like shark-shaped marshmallows.
But the four of you Paulin, you Julie, you Canadian Witch, and you Melina, the four of you will always be my favorite marshmallows together.
Aw, that's sweet.
Thank you, Paul.
Because the four of you are sweet and gooey.
Gooey?
I've never been told I'm gooey before.
Gooey can be good.
Yeah. I've definitely been called worse than gooey, that's for sure.
How are you doing, Melissa?
Better than be called fishy.
Yeah. Or stinky.
Yep.
Hi, Melissa.
Melissa, would you like to get on panel with us? We're just sitting here, chit-chatting.
Oh, Melissa's here.
Yep. I just got done with telling my opinion. We're just kind of talking about other opinions.
Yeah, Melissa, come up.
I'm actually doing pretty good. How is everybody too?
I'm good.
Besides hanging with the four of you, my day has been well so far.
Is she gonna come up?
Oh, that's cool. Just be careful and stay safe, Melissa. I'm glad that you've popped in to say hello.
I just subbed her today, I think.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody's wondering, she has a video out talking about her tattoos.
I just saw that.
That's actually a really cool video. Yeah. I appreciate that.
I saw that, and that's when I subbed her because I came across it. It's really a neat video.
Yeah, I enjoyed that video a lot because I know a lot of people have stories behind their tattoos. And I remember watching in some of her videos that she had, I'm like, I wonder what the meaning behind some of them are.
Yeah. And I'm impressed.
Was really cool.
She remembered like when she got them because I have like 4 tattoos and I have no clue like what year I got them. And she remembered like all of her tattoos and like what year she got them and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like really impressed because I have no clue.
I'm so scared of needles. It'd be really hard for me to get a tattoo. If I did though, I would get one for my two babies in memory of them. A tattoo. Cool. But other than that, I won't do it. And I've heard, do not ever put your guy's name on you as a tattoo. Ever.
I wouldn't do my husband even, and we've been married 21 years. I think it's bad luck.
I mean, the only I was like the same way as you, but I wouldn't say I'm scared of needles as much as I used to. But every so often, I do become a bit scared. But the people around me just tell me to not focus on the needle, just think of something different, and that's what I always do: is not look at the needle, just think of something else, or look at something else whenever I go to the doctors and get a shot of some kind, and the only needle that I have through me right now is my piercing.
Actually, they're not that bad because once they start going, like your body kind of numbs them out. You know what I mean? And they're not that bad.
Jason, we are not a DJ. We are not a request room. He's saying play Eminem, Kim.
She says, I did mess up on one, LOL. The Gimme Kiss was done in 2017, not 2013. But you have so many. I understand that it's it can probably get kind of confusing.
Yeah. I'm just so impressed you remembered all that. And then it made me mad. I'm like, why didn't I do that? Like, I should have wrote down or documented, like, when I got mine. I was like, that's really cool that she knows that. And I love that. I love the one that cover up you're doing, Melissa. That's going to be really cool when you get that done. That lion that she's doing on her arm.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool when she gets that done.
And whoever does your tattoo is really good.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to get a tattoo myself, but I don't know if I'd be able to work through the needle and the pain of getting a tattoo done. And,
they're not that bad, really. Are they, Melissa?
Right. Well, it's just
Melissa
I would never get something as
yeah, you got some too. They're not that bad, are they, Canadian?
3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, like after they go for a little bit, they're not that bad, are they? It's just
Melissa,
like
I do want to ask you if there is a specific spot that hurts less than other spots.
Well, some say it's different with different people too, but
always on the bone hurts a lot more.
Yeah, by the bone because
your ankle or around your wrist, and
I got one all the way around my ankle.
Yeah, I bet that would hurt.
Can't get my ankle up so you can see it.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true, Melissa. It does hurt more in some spots, but it's mainly mono.
I can't get my ankle up. I can get the.
It's just that I would like to get a tattoo.
I can't get my ankle up, but anyway, I got one all the way around my ankle. I'll take pictures of them sometime. But
it's just that
really cool.
I would like to get a tattoo, but I don't know of what because when I wanted to get a tattoo earlier this year, I had the money, but unfortunately I spent that money on something else, and I wanted to get a tattoo of the Price is Right logo. But now I'm thinking of like, should I go with that, or maybe one of my favorite cartoon characters growing up in the 90s?
That would be cool. The one around my ankle is like a flames with purple throughout it, and I like NASCAR a lot, so it's got like the NASCAR logo in it, and it's like totally around my whole ankle.
Wow,
kind of cool.
With tattoos, you got to be really careful of what you're getting, because I mean, if it's something that you may not like in a year or so, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that the reason why I wanted to go with the Price is Right logo is because the Price is Right is one of my favorite game shows that I love to this day.
That is awesome, Melissa, and I bet she will. I mean, your family's all artistic.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she's going to have a really cool design, and I would not be able to wait to see that show up in a video.
I'm going to have my husband take a picture of my Tinkerbell I have on my back. She's about 6 or 8 inches long and about 3 inches wide or so. It's beautiful. The guy he's really good. And it's like one of my favorites because I love Tink because she's got a little bit of attitude in her,
Yeah. And Melissa said she heard the foot is horrible. By the underarm and ribs are the worst.
the ribs, I would think would hurt.
Yeah.
I've heard that area is really sensitive
I'm
because
thinking,
there's a lot of nerves right through there,
yeah,
and it's close to the bone, you know.
yeah.
And I've heard like where you had yours, Canadian, like the underside of the arm right there,
Yeah.
of the forearm. Yeah.
Your part. Oh my God, I was white knuckling that chair like there was no tomorrow. I was like,
But like,
oh God, oh God.
but I got like where I got mine around my ankle. It kind of when it got around the backside where the bone is, you know, that's was a little tender there. But
now my arms are pretty flabby. One of my other flaws that I have, but I'm thinking if I was to ever get one, it would be on my arm and it would have wings.
Oh, that would be cool.
Angel
for like,
wings. Yeah.
This one didn't hurt at all. So I can tell you it didn't hurt.
Where's that at? Oh, on your upper arm.
I hope you have a good night, Melissa. Thank you for stopping by.
Bye, Melissa.
Have a great night, Melissa.
I have yours too, so this one didn't hurt.
And Redbeard is back.
Redbeard,
welcome back.
Melissa, do be careful on filming with Gene.
Yeah, be careful. Stay safe.
Well, I have to leave as well, but I don't want to leave the four of you marshmallows in the dust. But I need to get to bed myself because tomorrow I have a busy day with my brother. Because tomorrow, me and him are going to be having a day's worth of activities, from going to the movies to going to IKEA to help me go pick up my new desk that I'll be buying. It's just going to be a packed day for the both of us, and I enjoy hanging with. But this cereal needs to let you marshmallows get soaked in milk overnight. I love the four of you. You guys are terrific. But on that note, you all have a great night. Talk to you guys again
You
soon.
too, Angel.
You too, Angel.
Have fun.
The four of you, hashtag stay fluffy. Good night.
Good night.
He's a hoot.
Redbeard, want to come up? You can.
Oh, who's coming? Oh, Chiefy! How you
North
doing?
Carolina.
You weren't just at home.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you, Chief?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Good.
Good to hear.
I didn't know what to do with that guy, so I didn't do anything. But it looks familiar. I know that guy, I think.
Oh yeah, he's Angel. Yeah.
All over.
Seen him in live streams.
Yeah.
There was somebody named Jason in here kept trying to get me to play this, like I was a bot. Play this or play that, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm not a DJ. I said it like 2 or 3 different times, and he still kept throwing that up, and I was like, I hide him.
Oh, well, you gotta remember there's some counts out there are robots, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he
probably
had, like,
looking at your mic.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, I told him I was not a DJ. I said that like 3 times, and he still kept throwing that stuff up, and I'm like,
Eminem.
Yeah.
Eminem Kim? Who is Eminem Kim?
I have no clue. I know
don't
Eminem,
even-
but I
I
don't
don't
know
even know Eminem.
What?
I've heard of Eminem, but not Eminem Kim.
Yeah, I had no clue who he was, but
Oh, that's who it was that was doing it.
yeah, that Jason. It was Jason something or another. But
Yeah, Eminem's
That-
a rapper.
Not Jason Bryce. There's a Jason Bryce, isn't there?
No, it's somebody I've never seen before.
Well, I've seen him around.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
But yeah, I hit him because I am scared of people trolling.
Yeah.
And when you repeat yourself and you don't say hello in the chat and you don't really talk, and all you say is the same thing over and over again, that makes a red flag for me and my
Oh,
moderator.
yeah.
Well, you gotta remember when
I
people start
apologize.
doing.
Or troll, bye.
Mhm.
Well, you gotta remember that it takes a while for somebody to start commenting on videos. Took me a while to comment on you guys' videos.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
he was watching me and thinking that he was on the YouTube music thing.
Wrong place. You gotta go around the corner and sell yourself.
We should have sung Baby Shark to him. Maybe he would have left.
Maybe he would have just left.
Yeah.
Hey, Redbeard.
Redbeard.
The baby shark.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
God. Mute him if he's going to sing that.
Hey, Carrie. Hey, Anna.
Yeah, I'll stick around until I keep losing my signal.
That's what she said.
Oh, wow. That was so cool. Melissa popped in on the chat. She didn't have time to get up on panel, but
Was that your first time having her here?
yeah.
Oh, she
That
told
was
you.
awesome.
She told you she'll come by eventually.
There's all kinds of first things happening today.
What else?
First time
First thing.
one of the common things I put on Twitter today, I got Patty and the G team liking it and making a comment. And then
Who was it?
also,
I couldn't hear. What'd you say, Redbeard?
one of the comments that I made on Twitter today had Patty from the G team make a comment and like it.
Oh.
And then also I had Melissa like my video on YouTube. And man, there's all kinds of cool new things going on today.
Well, you guys are slowly going into their group soon. That's what I'm seeing. Slowly.
I was in Green Bay's live stream tonight, and I guess Blue Rock noticed me somehow, and he's like, "Hi, Canadian Witch." I'm like, "Hi."
Yeah, she was a stone.
That's pretty cool.
And I was really vocal in that live stream, so
The only time I got really speechless is when I met Willie Nelson. That's the only time.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, I'd be too.
I love Willie Nelson. He's cool.
The first time I met him, we went in the back. You know, when before they go on the bus, they sign autographs. All I did is shake his hand. Some guy next to me gave him a joint. It's like,
that doesn't surprise me.
I was gonna say, I would like to sit down and hang out with him.
Yeah, finally 700 seems to have stuck. I'm
Good.
hoping it stays that way.
well, congrats on that team. Just gonna get bigger.
I want to get to 100. That's my goal.
Well, I shared you out, so hopefully people do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I shared out everybody before I shared out myself.
Aw, you're a sweetie.
And I rarely share out myself. And that's what Chief said.
And really, I am pushing for Honda Trucking. Like I said, you know, I was there pretty much from the beginning. He even asked me on Twitter. This is the thing. This is one of the first times he had a conversation with me. He was asking me what I thought about doing a spirit box session without even putting words in it. You know, putting his own 2 cents into it. And I told him it was a good idea because it's open-ended. That means everybody has a right to their opinion on what they're hearing. And, you know, that there's a lot of YouTubers that, you know, they do put the captions in there what they think they heard. And sometimes it's off. Sometimes it, you know, it's like there, but not quite there. And then there's a lot of things that are in there that are missed. And, you know, people have different opinions about it, but I thought it was cool that he done it open-ended. So when when he first done his first live stream, I had no clue. I didn't even have his YouTube link to try to even sub to him. He never put it up on Twitter, and I told him, dude, if you want people to start subscribing to you, you got to share out your YouTube page.
Yeah.
And I said, I couldn't even find you. And somehow he done it. The second time that he done the live stream, he posted the link for his YouTube page. And I went in there and it said he was live, and it was help me calm my butt down. He was mad. I think Chief may have went back and watched some of it. But I know me and Abraxas were in there in the very beginning, talking to him at first and getting kind of like the scoop of what was going on. Because I'm like, why the heck did he say this? Is he having a bad day? And I was like, well, click.
I'm just trying to find the video that I first started with you guys. I forget which one it was. Everybody just got quiet?
Yep.
Watching you and what you're doing.
Watching you, Chief.
I felt it.
And Carrie Ann said Willie is a legend.
Well, of course he is. Still going, that little bastard.
I would just, if the God wanted to take me after I met Willie Nelson, you know what I'm saying? I finally met who I wanted to meet. So,
well, I wanted to meet Waylon, but he passed away before he came to Prince George. So Willie's the closest thing.
Yeah.
I really like him in the movies. He's just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite one about him is the movie Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know of his music, you'll always remember him by the movies he was in. And they're not big, huge parts either. They're like small little parts that you're just like, hey.
And sometimes, like certain people, like Stephen King, his movies, he's got a little small part in almost all his movies, if not all of them. Yeah. And so I go and try to hunt him down, figure out where he's sitting at or where he is at, And it goes the same with the guy that done the comics, that started the comics company.
Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I still go hunting down, figuring out where he's at, because he's such an iconic figure, and you know what he looks like. It's like searching for it.
Yeah.
Every movie they made, they always put him in there, and it's always freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he came to because the city I'm in has a comic expo, and Jason Momoa came 2 years ago. Leonard Nimoy and a whole bunch. But when Stanley, he always came, like every year. And I'm like, dude, how can you hit every Comic-Con, He was dedicated.
Yeah, very dedicated.
Well, sometimes he had to be forced to do some stuff like that, and at his age, it was taking a toll.
Well, they get paid well too.
Yeah, I don't like this kid.
Oh yeah.
This kid is a brat, thinking everything's handed to them.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the kid tried to sue her own dad for the company.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
I remember that.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
What is that sound?
I don't know.
In that ticking.
Kind of reminds me of the sound of Peter Pan, the old cartoon. Every time like alligator comes to the captain. Rednecks on TV.
Oh, I've got a few people messaged me.
Yeah, I was wondering. How I got you is when you shared it out on those things. That's how I got you. Nobody's saying that.
What the heck is that noise? Sounds like a monster or something. Roar.
Oh no.
Let's just have a challenge to see how long we stay silent for.
Well, that's easy. I can mute everybody.
That's cheating.
Oh, that is.
If she mutes us all and then she talks, she loses.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
So tomorrow, my mom's, she lives about an hour and a half away from here. She's coming here because she has an appointment at the university, and I have to go with her to that because she had a stroke this spring and was in the hospital here for about a week. And so she's coming up here to have some neurological testing done because they think she might have some, like some maybe Alzheimer's stuff going on, but they're going to do some testing on her. So anyway, I got that today. Oh, I guess it's today now. Anyway, and then I wanted to get some stuff done around the house because Friday is my surgery. And then I'm going to be laid up for a while. I won't be able to do anything. So, yeah, it's kind of, so I don't have much time left to do anything because today I'm going to be busy with her because our appointment's going to last like 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, the testing takes like 4 hours. So it's kind of like the day shot.
Well, I want to thank everybody coming up here. I am actually getting really tired. I'm actually feeling like I'm going to fall asleep, and I don't want to be rude to everybody.
Yeah, you'll be our fifth victim then.
Victim?
Yeah.
fall asleep.
I almost became the fifth one.
You come close. You sure did.
Oh, I missed it.
Ghost Dog yelled out, "Wake up!" It's like I got up and I listened.
Oh, I missed it.
I didn't. I almost went to sleep, but at the same time, I heard Ghost Dog yelling and scream.
Aw.
Usually
Dang it, I
his voice
missed.
tends to put myself to sleep. Like when I'm already tired and he starts doing his little humming, whatever, even if he's on the panel or if he's talking to me on the phone, he starts humming or singing a little tune. I'm like, don't do it. No, don't do it because that's going to make me fall asleep.
I don't know if you heard me yesterday. I asked you to send me that picture. Ghost Dog said no.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not in the middle of this.
Yeah, I fell asleep on Fallen's panel and Ghost Mafia did all. He terrorized me.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah. It's weird because I could hear everybody, but yet I dozed off somehow.
Yeah, I was scared about that.
I was keeping an eye on you. I was just watching you. Then Ghost Dog and everybody was talking. I was just keeping an eye on you.
And then I watch it back and I'm like, oh God.
I know that's so weird. I know I'm not going to be able to do this, but I've thought about try to do a 24-hour live stream. My computer's not going to be able to handle that. It's just not.
Oh, Melanie, you got a calico kitty.
Yeah, she looks a lot like yours.
Yeah, I was going to say she does.
You gonna face the camera?
That is cool.
Well,
ooh.
She did for a second or two.
She looks a lot like mine.
Oh, cute.
That's really cool, Carrie.
This was my brother's cat, and I took her in.
Aw.
And he got sick.
Oh.
God, I can't believe how much she looks like my cat.
She does.
I was about to say that.
I swear Ghost Dog should make a Twitter account about that name and a YouTube channel.
You don't like being on camera, do you?
That was too good.
When you said something about the camera, it put his ears back like, no, not me.
I hope he does that again, that personality. That was so funny. Melinda.
But I want to thank you guys for coming up. I actually think doing Wing Talk and then having like a discussion afterward where people and they're free to talk about their opinion. I think that's going to work.
Yeah.
Because I do value other people's opinions, although sometimes it's how you execute your opinion.
Yeah.
Is the key.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that, have a Wing Talk. And there is going to be times I'm not going to do like a coffee talk behind it. But there are a lot of times I'm going to start doing that.
Okay. Sounds
what do
good.
You guys think?
I think it's a
like
good
that
idea. Yeah.
I do.
It's a great idea.
Wonder what chat thinks too.
I can't see. You have to tell me.
Yeah, I know.
There's Redbeard.
Silver
sorry.
This is so stupid. I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And it says sounds good.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everybody coming up on the panel with me.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
This, even Melanie, I think this is one of the first times you've been up on my panel.
It might be.
I know you've been on Ghost Dogs and a couple other people's. Even just
Eddie's, I
hiding.
think.
Yeah, even just hiding your face, but you were able to get up there, which is pretty cool. And I'm glad and I'm thankful that you're up here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
But-
thank you.
And thank you for everybody that's in the chat. I also want to say thank you to Melissa for popping in and saying hello. That was pretty cool. I was really surprised. I'm happy that she come in. I hope to see her again around. Thank you for having me on twice. Thank you, Redbeard, for coming up. I mean, when you could, I totally understand that being a trucker, it's kind of hard because your cell service will go in and out really easily.
Can I say something about Redbeard's comment? That's poor choice of words. Don't say that again.
Easy.
What do you
Thanks
say?
for having me on twice.
Well, that's better than once.
That was my limit. Just kidding.
It blows. Oh, okay.
But
Baby Chief. What's he call you that?
shut up, baby chief.
Okay, Nato-san. That's his Indian name. I gave him Nato-san.
Yeah.
Means white sun.
Baby Chief. Do, 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 do.
And I'm
Baby
working on your
Chief,
guys'
do, do,
Indian
do,
name.
do, do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on all you guys' Indian names on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
Oh, good.
Cool.
And they're going to be in carrier, and I'm not going to help you. Some of them might be rude, some of them might be nice, but the rude ones are pretty much on the guys.
That's cool.
But
Call
Ghost
them
Dog
baby
is a
boys.
hard one.
Yeah,
I'm
I
still
would
trying to
think
figure
it
it
would
out.
be. Yeah.
But if you see Redbeard anywhere, call him Nato-san. That's his Indian name I gave him.
NATO?
Yeah, it means
Yeah.
white sun.
But
It's too funny.
you guys just remember, you never know what's out there until you spread your wings and fly. This is Fallen Angel, and I hope everybody has a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.